You know, Pokemon badges come in quite the range of complexity. Like you've got the Boulder Badge. It's a boulder, because it's the rock-type gym. But then you got the Zephyr Badge, and what the heck is a Zephyr? I am a child. I can barely read those letters next to each other. How am I supposed to know or understand what a Zephyr is? You know, a westerly wind in Greece, which is why it's the flying-type badge? Like, I'm 6. I shouldn't know that yet. And that's pretty much the range of badgitude we've been working with for 3 generations. And over those generations, the badges didn't really advance much aside from your basic advancing with the technology stuff, like color and more pixels. But Generation 4 would change that. Pokemon gym badges would never be the same again. Because now, on the touch screen, you can clean them. Kind of funny that you can polish the Cobble Badge even, which is the first badge that you can get in Sinnoh, and it's pretty straightforward. Orberg is a mining town, and they have a rock-type gym run by Rourke. And the badge itself looks like a couple of things, like a blocky Pokeball, Rourke's mining hard hat, a minimalist stack of coal in a minecart, or even just a rough piece of coal in an open furnace, which is where you put coal if you want to kill the planet. So that was an easy one. What's next? We had to Eterna City to get the grass-type gym badge from Gardenia. It's the Forest Badge. I wonder why a forest is grass-type. I do like how minimalist it is. It looks like 3 treetops. 3 trees make a forest, and they also resemble Gardenia's short green cloak, which is a nice touch. Perhaps the next one will be much more in-depth. So let's move on to... oh, wait, hang on. Are we playing BDSP or Platinum? Wait, why would anyone play BDSP when Platinum exists? We now move on to Hearthhome City, which is where we'll get the 3rd gym badge in Platinum, but this is actually the 5th badge you get in Diamond and Pearl. In those games, you'd be going to Veilstone instead, which we'll get to. For now, let's face Fantina, the ghost-type gym leader, and get the Relic Badge. Ooh, yes, some depth. The badge kinda looks like a simplified version of her hair, if she had like 3 blobs instead of 4. But being the ghost badge though, you could see these purple circles as floating spirits around a ghostly aura, or around a cursed relic. Hence the badge's name. A relic is an object surviving from a much earlier time, especially one of historical or sentimental value. Oftentimes, they have religious meaning too. For instance, Catholicism has so many ancient relics, typically body parts of old dead saints encased in gold. Buddhism has quite a few relics also, filled with the burned ashes or remains of Buddha. Wait just a moment though, dead body parts? Ghosts! Yeah, cursed relics are common in media, especially Japanese horror. So the Relic Badge just sort of resembling 3 spirits in a circle around a relic of some sort of in a will-o-wispy sense. It works. It's perfect. It's cool how, like, some relics are entire limbs, so the guy very likely died, but then there are other relics that are just like beard hairs. I just can't help but imagine collectors following saints and prophets around, ready with a Ziploc bag to put their beard trimmings into before they fall into the sink. Which brings me to today's sponsor, the Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Finally, after years of body hair trimmers, they've got the beard covered too. The Beard Hedger is waterproof, cordless, rechargeable, and has a powerful 7200 RPM motor and titanium-coated T-blade to slice those thick hairs in one single go. Do you like a little stubble or a nice clean mane? The Hedger has 20 different cutting lengths you can easily swap to with a wheel. And the Pro Kit? Don't even get me started on this Pro Kit! We're talking beard shampoo, conditioner, oil, balm, a travel case, and free beard brush, comb, and scissors. Treat your beard right and it will shine, literally and figuratively. This conditioner is infused with shea butter, coconut oil, and vitamin E. The E stands for men. And the oil and the balm is very nice too. And you can get all this and more for a deliciously good price. Go to manscaped.com/Lockstin or use the coupon code LOCKSTIN20 for 20% off, plus free international shipping. Join the over 9 million men across the globe who have trusted Manscaped with their manly scaping today. Link at the top of the description. Okay, now let's go to Veilstone City and get the Cobble Badge from Maylene. It just looks like a couple blocks of cobblestone. Bricks made from earth that you make nice pathways out of on the ground. So clearly it's the ground type badge because actually it's the fighting type badge really though. Yeah, it's the fighting type gym badge because I'm sure you're aware, cobblestone pathways are notorious for just spiking you in the nards. Oh! So what's going on here? Don't tell me it's just because when you're an expert fighter, you never walk, you just kick the ground repeatedly, because that's silly. Wait a sec. Veilstone City's motto or nickname is hewn from stone because like the whole city is carved out of a mountain and the roads are all cobbled together. Is it like how a lot of martial artists will practice their kicks and chops on stone blocks? I mean, what is the city going to do with all those literally chopped by hand blocks other than cobble them together to make their streets? Huh? Actually, okay, it is pretty clever now that I think about it a little bit. Especially since you could also see the badge as a sort of stylized tatami mat. Traditional Japanese flooring you often see in dojos and such. And in traditional Japanese homes and dojos and such, and even her own gym in the anime, you take your shoes off to not damage the tatami mats. Hence, also the gym leader being foot fetish bait. I mean, she identifies as the barefoot fighting genius. But what makes her bare feet so special? Like all of the martial artists when in these buildings should be barefoot. In fact, almost all of them are. You're just the first one to put so much focus on it because you're also the first lady.
Hey, yo, what the?
One. It's fitting though. Maylene embodies the ideals of resilience and patience in fitness and combat training by going around everywhere, totally barefoot. I mean, everywhere, even in the snow, which Sinnoh has a lot of because it's so cold. So considering all that, I suppose it's fitting that she loves the ground as a fighter. And touching the ground with her own skin. Her own incredibly calloused skin. So next we go to Pastoria City to find one of Maylene's friends, Crasher Wake, the water-type gym leader who also has a thing for fighting. He is an excitable and fun-loving professional wrestler. It's definitely fun that they made this luchador-like wrestler guy not be the fighting-type gym leader. And actually, small tangent, his propensity for using his gym earnings to help out those less fortunate and pay for the facilities and maintenance of the city, and his use of defog to keep the city's weather clear for said less fortunates, is a common cliche for luchadors in media. It's a trope that all started from the real-life luchador Fray Tormenta, who was a Mexican priest who started luchadoring to make money to support a local orphanage for more than 2 decades. Now, remember how the last 2 fighting-type gym leaders had water as their secondary theme, and Chuck even gives you the Storm Badge? Well, Fray Luchador's name translates to Friar Storm, and it's definitely a part of what inspired Crasher Wake's name. And like Crasher Wake, he almost always has the mask on when in public, even while doing his priestly duties, which is just amazing. But now, he gives you the Fen Badge? What is a fen? That is a simple word with only 3 letters, and yet I do not know it. But through the power of Googling for 3 seconds, I can tell you. A fen is a type of marsh, and Pastoria City is right next to the Great Marsh. But specifically, it's a large tract of land covered in plant life that is frequently, or near always, also flooded. Often just beneath the surface. Very squelchy when you step on it. Like, it looks like it's just a bunch of grass in a field, but then you step on it and your foot sinks in and it's water underneath. And if you look at the badge, that is one of the things it depicts, actually. You can see these top spikes as blades of grass, but they're not colored green because they don't want to confuse you. It's not the grass badge. But then this thin line here, that's the soft ground. And then just underneath, it's blue because that's all the water underneath. The Fen Badge is a fen.
Wow!
But also, it resembles Crasher Wake's masks. Really cool how all of the badges this gen have resembled the leaders themselves too. At least a bit. You love the floor, shut up. Now we head to Canalave City to get the Mine Badge. Wait, didn't we already have a mine-themed gym? Rorks? Yeah. Oh, this gym is run by his dad, Byron, and it's steel type, so it's different. The badge itself looks like 3 hunks of ore surrounded by 3 pickaxes, which, he uses a shovel, but same difference. The idea here is that mining tools and equipment are made of metal because they have to be harder and stronger than the stuff they're breaking, otherwise the tools themselves would easily break too, obviously. Zooming out to the city a bit, this is a major port town with big canals, and given the bluish hue of the pickaxes, you could see the middle part as canals going through the city. Or you could even see all of this blue as ocean, and the orange bits are the islands, which is how the city is depicted in the anime. Really, for having such a simple design, it's really well thought out. It has a big thought process behind it. Or I'm just really good at BSing. Let's head to Snowpoint City now and see if Candace's Icicle Badge is at all comparable. The icicles are upside down. It looks more like an iceberg. Interestingly, this is the only badge in this generation that has a different name in Japanese. The Glacier Badge is its original name, and in that context, it does look like a frozen glacier coming down between two carved-up mountains. Notably, that's a major part of why Hokkaido, or real-world Sinnoh, is so mountainous. Glaciers several eons ago. But also, for once, this gen, the badge doesn't really resemble the leader, other than just basic type theming and the same kind of colors. I guess you could see this as like a Snover head at an angle? Snover and Abomasnow are her main Pokemon. Best I got is that her main pose, you could say that it resembles the sweater tied around her waist, the triangular shape in the back and the twisty arms in front. That's not super important though. What is important is finishing up our Sinnoh journey, because the next stop is our last. It's finally time to head to Sunny Shore City and bring home the bacon. I mean the Beacon Badge. The Beacon Badge. From Volkner, the electric-type gym leader. It looks like Melton, because that's entirely a coincidence. Melton didn't exist for like 3 or 4 more generations. Really, it primarily resembles the Vista Lighthouse in town, which you have to go to in order to find Volkner before he'll even show up at the gym. But if you wanted to be stretchy about it, the circle is like a head of bright blonde hair, and the 2 spikes resemble his own 2 large sideburn things. And the bluish hue down there, yeah, it's like his blue jacket. The blue inside of the head is even representative of his own emotional state, because his whole character is just extremely depressed. But I do love the fact that the electric gym is the last one before you face off against the Elite Four, because think back to how we started our journey. In Orberg, we were rough and tumble youths, full of energy but nowhere near our full potential. Dirty. We reflected upon our past in Eterna City, as coal is ancient underground wood. And we've been chopped and broken up, crushed under the pressure of the ground and water above us, until all that was left was a relic of our old selves, and the spirit to grow more. We were brought up by those who had made the journey before us, and were refined into something greater. To become something much more powerful and beautiful even, as coal turns into diamonds under pressure. And now, we brighten up everyone around us, as our true power has awakened, and shines on as we face off against our greatest challenges yet, and become champion. Maybe I'm just pulling at strings again, thinking too much.